we're deal with the other referral daughter one because we really like a chance to go and do a site visit on that one. So we'll be on that one tonight. It sounded like to her it didn't matter if we did it today or not, but there's still time. It's not a time sensitive thing really. So
Here's the main fault.
hi Sadie, can you hear us? Okay, very good. So can I get a motion to adopt the agenda as restrict or changed, whatever the word is that I can't find. And as amended, there we go. Good, very good enough, thank you. The minutes from the last meeting were sent and received by everybody. Worry about that. We'll right on into the land reserve referral for Tillings. The referral package was dated October 30th, and we were asked to set a meeting date and so on. It took a little while to track down what was going to work for us amongst this and so on. And then the paperwork on this did not arrive for everybody until this Monday, the 17th. So we've actually only seen it for 4 days now. We did not get to do a site visit, but I figure most of us are familiar with the property at least a little bit, and we know where it is and such. I'm not a coffee drinker, so I don't frequent the place at all. So, but anyway, so be it. And yeah, there. So maybe to start with, we'll have Dawn. Is he the one going to speak for you, or
Cassidy?
Okay. If you want to give us a brief discussion on it is, but we do have the referral notes and so on from the application. But if you want to give us a little overview and such.
Yeah, we didn't know we were supposed to present anything tonight. We were just coming to answer questions. So that's what I've seen.
You're not really presenting, you're just basically giving us cliff notes on the application.
Oh, okay, sure, yeah.
And then you'll be answering.
Okay. Oh, okay, sure.
They're probably as prepared as we are.
Okay.
Before you start, this for those that don't know, this group here is a volunteer group. And we just are an advisory group, so we don't have any power, so on like that. We don't make the rules. So it's just our observations and our opinions on how this referral pertains to the agriculture components and stuff. That's basically all that we deal with on this.
Does your discussion go to regional district?
Yes, and that's why the directors do listen in and so on, and then from what they hear and what we tell them, inform them, or however you want to put it, but then they have that knowledge to go forth when they go higher up the chain.
Is there like a vote, or is it just like a discussion?
We do vote, yes.
We're not allowed to. Just get to vote.
Okay, so that's just so you know, that's sort of what we are and what we're about.
Basically our application is flower farm, and then we're starting 2018, and then we opened up a coffee bar in 2021. We took no land out of production to open the coffee bar, so it's an existing shed that we renovated. It's a full cherry orchard, a vineyard, flower farm. Haven't touched agriculture to make this happen. When our parents bought the property in 2006, they only just planted stuff on the land. So every viable piece of land on that whole thing, it's all planted, everything's being used. Used to grow. Yeah, so it's a flower shop, little coffee bar in there. Yeah, that's kind of it. That's our story. Yeah, we didn't take out any trees or anything to. Yeah, I'm not sure what you guys need to know.
How big is the parking lot?
Twelve
Square feet or,
12 acres?
oh, for the parking lot?
For the parking lot?
Yeah. How big is that area?
I don't know. We can let you know.
I think in
I'm
the
not sure.
referral notes, it said here that, the parking lot would accommodate approximately 27 vehicles. That sounds about right.
Yeah, that was like including our overflow parking, like on the road.
Oh,
I'm not sure if we could get 27. Yeah, we could get veterans.
Can you clarify a bit the past, what it was used for as a small business? I take it your dad had it?
Yeah, there's a building on there that's been existing for, I don't know, when we bought the property before AOR came. Yeah, you might need a job.
We bought property in 6 because I'm an entrepreneur. One of the attractions was the existing cabinet making manufacturing building that was there. And Mr. Weaver, the owner, who was on a side note, was born in that house, the original farmhouse, 1936. He had a manufacturing building, used to cabinets on that property. I think 73, 74. So it was existing. So when we bought it, he told me and gave me that, stating that that area there was light industrial. That's what he told me. It was no, it's not kidding. So when I got my PC assessment since 06 to today, it says house 1, house 2, agricultural, and light industrial. So why would Creston and I ever think that it wasn't light industrial? Because I'm being taxed every year for light industrial. Now, that's a question that I'd love an answer for. We have phone PC assessments, and they say, well, that doesn't matter. That doesn't apply. So let's think about this practically. I'm being taxed for light industrial, but it's not so light industrial as the independent will tell you. So if it's not zone light industrial, how can you tax me every year for light industrial? I'm a simple guy. That just doesn't seem to make sense to me.
That's not the law, it doesn't.
But so when we're confronted and questioned, why on earth did you not get the proper zoning for this flower shop in now College Park? Why would I? Every year I get proof because my taxes that it's like industrial. It's like, okay, I'm sorry. I messed up here. But why would I think differently?
Does it say how big the areas you get taxed on?
That piece has been, it doesn't, well, none of the BC assessment, it doesn't give a square footage, but that piece has been there 30s, 40s, so I'm confused how a government can tax you for land that's designated light industrial, but it's not so light industrial. Yeah, I'm confused. Doesn't make sense to me, but that's the story behind it. So Weebirds moved out, built a new shop on 25th. My construction company moved into the building. And then the shed, that was tractor stuff. Converted it into release from 2015. Not a problem. It's, and we sent this to the planning committee. We were, again, a little surprised that the regional district was surprised that these businesses were operating I go, oh, wait a minute. On my water bill, my taxes, for my water, for that property, I have Creston 1, Creston 2, agriculture, and food and beverage for the coffee shop since the day they opened. I'm being taxed. So, okay, there's a little disconnect in the RDCK. Get that savings that to me. But as just a common guy, I'm thinking, you can't be surprised. Why? Because water didn't put it, highways didn't put it because they paved a road. RDCK is all over us. And now it's a surprise. Okay, well, screwed up again, I guess. But it doesn't make sense to me. But anyway, yeah.
Very interesting. Yeah, no, I'm saying it sounds like, yeah, it's weird. Yeah.
I've been a few different zoning law. I don't know, maybe that's the way I saw it.
If you're being taxed for something that is designated like industrial, it better be zoned like industrial, else you have no business taxing me. And I'm sure Weberg and Richards, I went and visited Richard the other day at Creston. No, that's the man's man. If we go back in the records, I'm sure he was taxed on like industrial for sure since 74. That's a lot of money.
Sadie, could you speak to what's allowable on light industrial? If percent light industrial, what would be allowable in those cases? Please.
I guess maybe I just comment that things might be getting a little confused here because BC Assessment is a separate authority that sets those sort of tax rates. They have people who go out on the ground and look at what's happening and then do that. It's very separate from the RDCK and doesn't have to do with our zoning. But in the light industrial zone, in the zoning, I can just pull it up here for area B. We would have... So the uses that would be allowed in a light industrial zone would be, sorry, this is going to be a little bit, building supply stores and yards, car washes, commercial workshops, contractors' offices, shops and yards, construction, sales, repairs, and storage of boats, trailers, food processing, light manufacturing, including fiberglass, canvas, finished concrete, manufactured home and trailer sales, micro cultivation and micro processing of cannabis, cannabis nurseries, recycling depots, repair shops, sales and servicing of motor vehicles and equipment, service stations, that's like gas stations, standard cultivation and processing of cannabis, trucking departments and warehouses, vet clinics, and then warehousing.
Thank you.
I think we only have a flower farm and a coffee park, but a trailer manufacturing. It was like, that's a great list.
The other sure I would cannabis.
No, I only cut grass now. Some of it's in the past.
Interesting, yeah. Oh, I was looking on your map and the diagram map. It shows the driveway coming from your house down to the flower farm in Vance. Where does it come out? Doesn't it come right down to there and at the end of it?
Yeah,
Does it come out over here or does it go right all the way through?
It should have gone all the way down there.
So
We can turn around.
like I say, I haven't been there. So
Yeah, so it goes up here, this is 27,000, so, yeah. Wow,
Drivers, I mean, like,
yeah.
car should have moved over.
I figured
Driveway comes in the middle of the top between what was the county shop and now.
No, it's on this.
Or the other side.
That's the north side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I thought if it didn't go there, maybe it would.
Yeah, no, that's confusing. Yeah, fix it.
I was just curious. That's what I wanted to do.
Yeah, no, yeah, I can see where you're confused.
So the coffee shop and the flowers part of it, I guess, too, all together. Like how busy is it as far as, you know, say with the parking area and so on, you mentioned about out to the road and so forth. Is there generally enough parking for the amount of business that comes through there?
Generally there is. In the summer it gets really busy, just because that's tourist season in Creston. We also find it sometimes challenging because we're beside the wineries and they're also very busy in the summer, so they have overflow parking, so everyone is kind of. Sometimes we have people park in our lot and then they'll walk to the wineries after. So it's hard to say sometimes where that person's going. They often visit like all the businesses on the street, like they're there for an afternoon. So one car will be in our lot for like hours and hours, but they're not at our coffee shop. So doing the other wineries.
So you
Yeah,
referred to
Or make
overflow,
people walk, yeah, do the loop.
you referred to overflow as parking on the side of the road? Is that your
Yeah,
kind of
just
your
like
overflow?
on our, yeah. Yeah.
The way you say it sort of sounds like yours does that, but the wineries do
They
too.
come flow too, yeah, especially in the summer, it gets really busy because it's tourist season. And like in the fall, spring, winter, we have plenty of parking. Just kind of June, July, August, but it's tricky, yeah.
Just so it's clear, since we're not doing coffee, the flower farm sales are down almost 25%. So they work together.
Is your overflow parking restricting the flow of traffic?
No.
They're able to get off the road too.
Oh, yeah, easy. The pictures, there was pictures taken of 27th Avenue lined with cars. That was taken by a neighbor, sent to that was one day out of the year where Cassidy and Stephanie at the coffee shop do a cat cafe with paws. So they bring their cats. We do this event. We got rid of a bunch of cats and they donated $500 to paws. That was one day. Craig Evans, do you know Craig? Craig Evans, and I'm sorry, I don't know if I forget Molly's last name. She's our horticulturist. They lease our orchard in the front. Craig, he was sitting here, but look him in the eye and tell you, he has never once seen anybody parking in front of that neighbor's house. And he leases her land,
Except for
except that one day. All those pictures. Sorry.
And we didn't know it was gonna be that busy, so for future, if, you know, if this ever happens again or whatever, we were working to get better at our parking. So we don't want to inconvene our neighbors, so if we ever do an event like that, we would change it,
Do
yeah.
you have a percentage of your business flow, flowers versus coffee revenue? Approximate?
It's so hard to say. Oftentimes people come for both. Or they'll come to like place a flower order, or they come for coffee and they end up buying flowers.
So
or
it goes
come for
both
flowers.
ways.
Yeah.
It's like the traffic. It's with the wineries, sure, wineries are closed. You could figure out traffic that's going there. But from May 24th to Thanksgiving, I didn't know which business are they going to, because they're all, those wineries are busy. It's great.
Like it's the summer's also our busy time too, off season we get quiet.
So you're saying that your till is not, you do not keep track of coffee sales versus flower sales?
We do, yeah. Yeah.
That's what I'm asking.
Oh, okay, yeah,
No, I'm not, traffic isn't really gonna be anything that we were concerned about yet.
yeah.
I'm myself trying to get a feel of how many flowers versus how many cups of coffee.
They're separate.
It was separate, yeah.
Separate business. So do you have any idea what those numbers are?
You looking for like strategy or like number of sales?
percentage or gross? I'm just trying to get a handle on how much flowers are being sold, because we're a flower farm versus coffee if we're not farming.
Right, right.
Depends on what season we're in.
Yeah, it was, yeah, summer's really. Yeah, it's a tough question.
Our would be busier now until the spring.
You probably wanna look at number of sales, cause the prices are so different, like coffee's $5, flowers is like.
Yeah.
You could do, number of coffee sales in a day.
It's gotta be basically, you gotta get some sort of a group together, like something,
What we're talking about, there are two things. They go together, they complement each other. And has the coffee shop detracted from agriculture, or is it enhancing agriculture? Is that the question?
No, it's not really my question. It's about farm versus coffee for me right now. That's why I asked that simply.
Yeah,
Of saying, okay, you have a flower farm. I understand they both feed off each other, but at the end of the day, how much flower farming are we doing versus selling coffee from where it comes from?
yeah,
Columbia.
yeah, it's
One
hard.
little dead. Oh no, he's dead now.
It's a little bit hard to compare the two because they're different price points and like people are coming for, you could go to group for coffee and they'll buy one.
But you just said it's two separate businesses.
They are, yeah,
Then that tells me you've got two separate totals.
yeah, yeah, I could find the numbers, yeah.
It just gives us a base to say,
Yeah.
are we a flower farm or are we more of a coffee shop? It may not look good either way, I don't know, I'm just asking for those numbers.
Yeah,
It's a way that we can
Yeah.
base
yeah,
an educated decision on whether we favor it or whether I don't.
right, yeah. It has become clear that the businesses are pretty much going to the head. And for Brittany's flower farm to continue, and just to be sustainable, it's really hard to make money for her. The coffee has made it like sustainable for the long term. So. I don't know if that helps.
I get it, I know agriculture, any shape or form is not easy, but unfortunately.
Yeah, yeah, it's been a hard fall for Brittany. She's lost a lot of her sales, so we're just realizing they really together, yeah.
Is the coffee shop farm firm good for our family in agriculture? Yeah, it's a rental building. And I had a construction company, because as you farmers know, I got 0 from grapes for 2 years, and I got 0 for cherries for 2 years. And this year, talking to Greg, is it enough to pay the water bill? Yes. You know that,
Welcome to agriculture, yes.
right? And that's what we're talking about.
And that's where we have to look at the agriculture side of it, that's where we're here for. So.
Well, how do they sell wine at this wineries?
Well,
Versus the food.
that's totally different because the wineries in town are considered land-based wineries, so they have to produce so much based on the amount of land that they have. And the minimum is they have to have 2 acres of either grapes or apples, and then you have to produce a minimum of 4,500 liters a year. So that's how that's maintained within the ALR. But then there's other stuff too with auxiliary parking that wineries all have to fit into. But the theory is that they're land-based, so they're producing what they're selling on site.
It's a safeguard to say that they're not bringing
And then there's,
truckloads of grapes.
then you get a commercial license,
Except last year.
you get a commercial license, and then you can import from anywhere in the world.
That's all
But
that
then but then you get taxed at a different rate, pushing to that kind by the province and federal government, you pay a higher excise on everything that comes in at the time, and then you pay the higher tax.
isn't that fascinating with the agricultural land reserve that, and we love the wineries. We have great neighbors, love having them there, but wineries don't produce food, they produce alcohol. And is the ALC to produce food for the people? Is that what it's for? I mean, just throw it out there. I've never thought of this stuff before, really, but as I'm involved in all this go.
Unfortunately, cannabis fits in agriculture.
Yeah.
How I
Do you
don't
know that
know.
is agriculture, Larry?
Of course.
Yeah,
See, that is just mind boggling.
exactly. Exactly. It employs a lot of people.
It what?
Employs a lot.
Oh, so that's the key. Okay.
And it produces a lot of tax money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the only reason it was legalized, right?
Anyway, sorry.
And I have a question. Like, it's all about ALR land, right? Sorry, I don't know your name.
Who are we pointing at?
Okay, with the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have a cherry orchard on our street that's in disrepair. It's actually a hazard. So is that not a concern for you guys?
It's been brought up many
We
times.
bring it up every day.
Oh, thank you for saying that, because I thought nobody cared.
For what reason, we don't know.
Yeah.
Why it doesn't change or why it hasn't been addressed or whatever. Because no, we are all in a state of disgust over what we've seen on that.
Okay, well, thank you for saying that, because I thought nobody cared and it wasn't an issue, but
So
obviously it is.
somewhere it's up levels beyond us.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
we know. It's 81 something.
Sure.
Sorry, I was muted. It's not related to that, but I was just gonna say that the regulations that apply to wineries under the Agricultural Land Commission are very different from the way coffee shops are considered. So different set of regulations, and I won't get into them, but they're all in line if anyone wants to know or ask questions later.
Same with parents.
So I have one more question. When in your building process, did your building inspector not inform you that this could maybe not be allowable? When you finished and or did your construction?
Well, that's a long story because I never got a permit to finish the building. And as a contractor, a well-respected contractor, that's on me. And I can tell you very quickly why. I was contracted to build the Lister extension park building. Okay, so we have a crew of 8 guys. Our crew was designated for 3 months to go to Lister and do this renovation for Lister.
Parks in the ALR.
Yeah, well,
Unfortunately, that was a thing that.
That's the trouble.
okay, so we've given drawings, application, we're all good to go to do it. So we're out there, we excavate, we put in the footings, we're ready to pour. So we called the RDCK to get an inspection of the footings before we pour the concrete. And the person said, well, we'll get back to you. Well, they got back to us and said, stop, no, we can't do anything. It's like, why? Well, because the park, as you guys know, which has been there since the 20s, all of a sudden is in the LR. It can be, get serious. You know all this. So, Adam, now my partner, phones me in a panic. What are we gonna do? I've got guys with mortgages, kids, wives, all this stuff. What are we gonna do? Oh man, I know what to do. Bring them here and finish this book. That's on me. But if you want to know the motivation, that's the motivation. Now I'm paying the price for that. Would I do it again? Sorry, I do it. Sending those guys home with no work, I could lose them. probably this happened work. It was a nightmare. This whole thing was a nightmare. And have you seen the park recently?
Not real recently, but yeah, definitely it's the last.
And how much money, taxpayer money, went down the toilet? Yeah, terrible. It's unbelievable. So that's why. That's why.
Well, my last question, so septic system, is it existing or was it expanded to take extra, from having extra people on site?
It was. It's all brand new and registered Dave up, registered it with the RDCK.
From down.
Did they, guess that's a whole different thing that wouldn't have set any red flags off to building inspection as far as that point.
I can comment on that. We would only check for a septic filing at the time of building permit. So if no building permit was applied for, we wouldn't check it. Septic filings can just be directly put to IHA by a registered wastewater professional or engineer, whoever constructed the septic system. So that probably wouldn't have crossed the RDCK's desk.
I got a question. So was there any new land used to put this building on, or was it an existing building, or so nothing new was put up?
We extended I think maybe 15 feet on that building. So, but did we take out a tree or anything? No, nothing.
And the parking lot was already there. You just grabbed the rocks on it.
So the septic field itself did it get larger? Did you have to remove anything to facilitate that? It just stayed in its own footprint?
Well, this is funny. When I bought the property, the shop had a bathroom. So I said to Richard one day, because I'm thinking I should get a pump drain so I know where it's at. Well, the septic tank was on Bailey Commons. Like, not just like on the border, it was like in his backyard. So when this happened, I said, this is the perfect time, because that's ridiculous, right? Now's a good time to put in a new system that takes care of old buildings. It was designed for the cottage.
Things that were done the way you do would have took care of the lot lines and stuff.
The actual shop, the TDC, is actually 3 feet on the lake roads. But Bob is. It's okay.
So there's no easement or anything?
No. But when Bob came to me to build his big house on the hill, I hadn't planted the orchard yet. They're in the nursery in the other side of our house. He said, I'm gonna build a house. I don't want to put power poles all the way up my driveway. Can I pull power off of one of your poles? Put it underground over to the house. Well, of course. Neighbors.
Right.
I have a question, but I don't know if Sadie has the answer or not. If there's a non-compliance and they're granted the application, what happens when the property is sold to the business? Does that property still remain having a non-conforming business of any kind, or does it end at the sale?
Is the question like if there's an existing non-conforming use, can it be continued when a new property owner takes the parcel?
Yeah.
Yeah, generally that's the case. Like, let's imagine you had a property that had like a third residence. It's in the ALR. It was established 100 years ago. It has 3 properties. You can generally continue that. Like, we wouldn't make you tear down the house just because you're not allowed to have a third residence now. What would happen though is if structural alterations were required, you may not be able to rebuild because you wouldn't meet the current zoning. And it's the same thing with uses. So like, for instance, on this property, there used to be, I think, a cabinet making business. Because that was established, my understanding, before the ALR, it was allowed to continue. But just because you have one legal non-conforming use on the property, doesn't mean it allows you to have another one. And in turn, also, like if you, how do I say it? If you had a cabinet making business, let's say, you'd have to continue that. If the business ceased for like a certain period of time, you wouldn't be allowed to reestablish it then again. So all the legal non-conforming stuff gets into a lot of minutia, and it's all laid out in the Local Government Act, and there's a lot of case law around it. But yeah, generally, legal non-conforming uses are meant to discontinue at a point, whether that be because the uses aren't happening or because the buildings eventually decay or, fall away.
So in theory, they kind of end at some point.
Yeah, they're meant to come to an end. And then the thing is, there's zoning process in place, like the land use bylaw amendment. So if somebody says, hey, you haven't continued doing this business, now you have to come back and reapply and say, hey, we want to do this on the zoning. We know we used to have legal non-conforming status, but we let that lapse. So now we're coming back to ask to see if we can have that considered through like a zoning amendment.
Example of coffee shop continues, orchard is sold. Coffee shop can continue with the owners.
Yeah, so let's say the hypothetical situation, the ALC approves this non-farm use. The applicant goes through the zoning amendment. The zoning is also changed. All the building permit stuff, all that's worked out. So they're in compliance now. The zoning would remain for the next property owner. So unless the zoning bylaw changes and removes that permission for the coffee shop, they'd be allowed to continue it. Sorry, it's getting late for me.
And if it sells, can you lease business back, or is it just operated by the people that own the property?
I don't think it necessarily it matters who the person operating it is. It's more the actual use. Yeah.
So what about the zoning? Like if he's been paying light industrial for
20 years.
For 20 years,
Yeah.
it's not actually been zoned, and that be straightened out. It should be
Yeah.
rezoned.
Yeah, so
Not?
that's not the way that BC assessment assesses properties for taxation purposes doesn't necessarily have to have anything to do with the zoning. So my understanding is it would be the same like you if you got some really wacky property assessment that said you were doing industrial stuff when you weren't. You could go to BC assessment and say, hey, this isn't actually the use happening on my property. Why am I being charged for this? So that's something that the property owner can initiate with BC assessment. It wouldn't involve the RDCK.
But then you might use that blue section.
So the likelihood is somebody drove by and said, hey, this is a business, so we can get a little extra taxes here. So we're assuming that this is what it maybe should be, so we're gonna tax you at that.
That just seems bonkers to me that there can be that much of a disconnect between taxing department and what something is zoned. Like, holy smokes.
What is it getting for not being a farm?
Oh yeah, try that. Everybody.
I'd love to see
Yeah, and
how
this property does have farm status, so they are classified as a farm by BC assessment for taxation purposes.
What would have been grandfathered in 1972 when the AFC was formed, and then it's just continued on since then, perpetuity. You probably don't want to fight it too much, just take that away,
Yeah.
and you're getting through.
Yeah, and again, if the property owner had, a concern that they were being taxed incorrectly, that would be the responsibility on them to go to BC assessment and say, hey, we think we're being taxed incorrectly. Like, we can prove it. We have a farm, we have residences, but we're not doing any industrial activity.
the point is, we're common people that want to property with an existing business that were told by the owners that it was light industrial. Why would we, for 1 second, doubt that we didn't have the zoning when then my PC assessment tells me I do? That's all I'm saying.
Was it a private sale? Or was it real estate?
Real estate.
And they didn't verify that for you to make sure that there was zoning in place?
It's usually verify stuff with a tax form though, I mean.
I got like, here you go, BC government says it's like industrial, why would I ever do that? And I understand Steve's point, I get that,
Yeah.
okay, we don't have the zoning, so if I go after PC assessment and they say, well, okay, you're not now like industrial, I never was. Because the planning department told me I have to get rezoned, so now you owe me money. But I never thought of that, why would I?
Okay, I think we're. Any more questions or
I've got my list.
got your desk done? Yeah. Otherwise, anything else to add or? I think we've got a pretty good idea of what.
I got another one for City. And they, she's thrilled. Yeah, I can tell by that smile. She's gonna run. You gotta look at the little screen and get out of there. And they do like a boundary adjustment and just have that house and now those parts as a separate property.
Not a chance.
Boundary adjustment subdivisions are sort of the same way that subdivisions are considered for all ALC properties. Subdivisions generally are not super likely to be approved in the ALR. If they wanted to do it, they'd need to meet certain aspects like minimum lot size. It would have to be approved by the ALC. It would be really hard for me to say without more details the likelihood of that going through, but they could certainly apply for a boundary adjustment if they wanted.
David, let me interject for a second. I hired a consultant out of Nelson a while back because my daughter bought the property next door. It's 100 feet wide. There's never been anything on it because it's too narrow. You put in an orchard on 100 feet, you got 25 feet here and 25 feet there minimum to turn around to spray the rows. So in the middle, what do you got? Right? So when she bought it, I said, what we should do, because actually up over the hill in the back, I cleared the land, which was hers, for trees and bushes, and I put in another 800 grape plants with the other 2,200 I had. It was her land. So we said, let's do a boundary adjustment and just simply make your piece our piece and we'll plant it all. So 3.5 years later, $15,000, we said, stop. We need partner. Done. Forget it. This is just too much. So we just walked away.
Don't think how much Rick Fingers did.
But that, I'm assuming that would have been due to there wasn't enough of a minimum left after you per se took off, because you can do, there's been a lot of adjustments on things similar to this, but they've always left the, as long as they have a minimum amount to leave with the house,
There was.
then it's approved.
1 hectare.
Was that the minimum that was required and then you just stopped it? Because there is a lot of those happening around.
Well, it got so expensive and so
You
complicated.
decided to pull out, yeah.
We just said, okay. My daughter was like, just got married. This is too much. So I said, that's fine. We'll deal with it later. Now the problem is to get to that 800 grapes, you have to go out my driveway, you turn the back into it because there's not a chance. It's a rock. It's all rock up there. We'll deal with that. We'll put an easement in on the driveway in case she sells so that person can get to their grapes. But yeah, it's challenging.
So we wanted to do that to enhance agriculture,
Of
but it
course,
was made too difficult
it's not.
by the RDCK.
But to answer David's question, yeah, we tried.
What about water? How is that built? You just get residential and agriculture use for the water, or is there?
No, there's 4 line items, right?
It's a,
Yeah.
an industrial for the water.
Well, that's interesting because there's resident 1, resident 2, agriculture, and food and beverage for the coffee shop. So that our bill has been, we've been paying for the water for the coffee shop since it opened. Which is fine, no problem.
Resident 1 and resident 2.
Yeah. Food and beverage and agriculture.
Who sets that taxation?
RDCK.
No. It's assessment.
No, for the
For
water,
water
for
billing.
the water billing. Who sets, oh yeah, what you,
They have this big wheel with high numbers on it, and they just spin it around.
That's a big.
Yeah, well, I win on this one, I don't win in Vegas.
Come out of the.
you saying you won on your bill?
I already got my water bill.
Well, you were going for high, not low.
I want a low, yeah, but I keep hitting high on the water.
So that would be, RDCK
Mhm.
manages that water system.
So since you put it in, someone's billing you for the extra water.
That's on our bill.
Yeah, no, I just curious if it was.
Mhm.
So it was noticed.
Alright. Is there anything else? Can we wrap this up? The vote, and Robin, we would prefer to secret ballot, so we can tear up 6 pieces of paper.
I'll take logger.
So just
We got a copy here.
are you looking at the motion that is the example?
Yes.
Yeah, we gotta read that.
Yeah, okay, yes.
Should we stay?
It's secret ballot.
We'll do it that way.
Yeah.
So yeah, so be it resolved that that it be recommended to the board that the Creston Valley Agriculture Advisory Commission either support or not support this referral, property numbers, yada yada, all that stuff. Support or not support. I'll come up and do that.
And you're probably gonna have to wait a long time to get a result from ALC.
Yeah, let's say where's the ground floor.
But we had one that we voted on and then they totally went completely different. Our recommendation.
So say, is it okay that Roger and I scrutiny are voting?
Okay,
I love that. That's great.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyone else can.
you guys can count to 6.
I think so.
Okay, you guys can do it.
That's his humor. I'm trying to take you back.
So, yes is in support, no is not support, is that
Just
just,
support or not support.
Which side?
Support or not support.
yeah, but just the support and not have it.
The support for the application? Or
Support, yeah, support for
Yes,
the
ma'am.
applicant.
It's the agricultural land reserve refuel, so you, or referral, pardon me, so you either support or you do not support the ag land reserve referral.
Yes, in this case, it would be, do you support the non-farm use of the coffee shop on this property?
Okay.
And let's say, I guess the ALC, they can say yes or no, but it has to stay a certain size or whatever.
Yeah, the ALC, when it, assuming it proceeds to them, would essentially say approve without conditions, to basically shut it down without conditions, or approve based off some other conditions.
I guess one quick question, though we're already pretty much voted, do you see yourself growing? Or you're happy kind of in the footprint you're in? Or do you see an addition in 2 years?
No, we don't, probably, we're gonna get it sold.
After this?
It's, yeah,
Well, we're
it's not good bigger.
we're talking about possibly, if it ever opens, just all the areas. When they're open, they're closed.
So that same thing. For Easter and Thanksgiving.
Yes.
Maybe there's just.
Too much work.
Houses done.
I got fucking.
I looked at them on my phone, but that just goes.
And the pictures were good, yeah. Yeah, I didn't know. I hit print, it was gonna have all the colors in there.
You got a fancy printer that print out pictures of the graphics.
Yeah. I know Baylor's and stuff, I don't know anything about printers.
Oh. I just yelled really loud.
Not working. I see this can work. Gee, staff thing's not working.
So the outcome is to support. So do you want to make a motion to destroy the ballots?
If you're happy with what you found, then yes.
Everybody's in favor?
Real good.
Ballots are being destroyed.
Very good.
Thank you very much.
The same works to the ground floor, so.
Yeah.
What happens if all of us get their problem?
That's kind of my life.
Not apart from
Right here.
whether it's the weed patch 2 doors down, just keep poking whoever you can poke.
Yeah.
Okay,
Unfortunately, the weed act doesn't do much.
thanks, Sadie.
Sure. Thank you for coming.
Okay, good night.
And even public online.
Oh, okay, for public time, is there someone there, they want to speak?
What do we have?
Why do we have public time?
So which? It would be nice to know that there was public. We were told up front there was public.
Yeah.
It didn't show anywhere.
Does it not show anywhere? No knowledge of who's there, who's not. That's not right.
How many public is?
There's two,
Well, it's true.
They just identified.
and well identified.
Okay.
Well,
You could be that anonymous.
Well,
It just says public.
There is one group of people that are keeping all the public meetings, just for the record.
well, I think they should still identify themselves, so one way or another.
Yeah, people.
They don't actually.
I thought we were working on it. Wasn't that something that come up in a meeting? But kind of got shut down, didn't it?
It's
She's in the black over there.
Yeah.
it's called a work plan. And
Oh, she's coming into life. Oh, there she is.
Tanya, do you want to say anything to us?
No, I think the results of your guys' decision makes me happy, because as a past director, Good Company Coffee was very instrumental in supporting the enhancement of 27th Avenue when we had that project in front of the province for funding, and just the overall economic development that the wineries bring to that area, and to Erickson, the jobs and future enhancement of agriculture being able to remain in Area B by having opportunities of secondary business, I think this is a great win. So thank you for your support on the application.
It was all, there was no returning it to agriculture land anyways.
No. Yeah, when you look at that property, in my opinion, they never took anything away from agriculture. If anything, they've invested with the replanting of cherry trees, with the planting of the grapes. They've done their job to keep the viable agricultural land in production. So thanks.
Okay.
See Gary run out of the camp.
Oh, block, there he is. We see him. Tell him to put his shirt on.
All right.
And then what about this other application?
Okay, so, said they want us to move for
December 2nd.
before the second. Yeah, let's do one.
Are we adjourning this meeting?
Second.
This is part of our agenda.
Part of where we're at.
What happened?
I'm good, but not
Monday, Tuesday, the following at the latest. Do governance, and then we can fit in a business there. Do
Monday, Tuesday, or Thursday, or in person.
would like Thursday afternoon next week, that work?
Look at that. Who I used
I think you're pretty happy about that.
Check my calendar at home, but I think it.
half the batteries.
You guys,
Thursday.
next week, Thursday afternoon?
Or is it?
Yeah.
Sure.
Thanks, Amy. Is Owen might be working on
Is it cold in there or what?
It's so cold. They turned off all the heat and I'm freezing. But yeah, if you guys don't need me, I might dip, but let me know when the next meeting is and I can come to answer any questions on that too.
Alrighty.
Thank you.
Thanks for answering all our
Thanks for your help,
questions.
guys. Yeah, of course. Take care.
You too. Okay, so we'll tentatively then set it for next Thursday, 27th. That suits you. Or
It won't be me.
with someone with a show, you said?
Yeah, I think Shelley.
Yeah, you guys are.
You're from Nelson?
No, I'm here, but I have a Facebook account next week.
Oh, nice, Jason.
No,
I may not be here, but you guys can have.
Either way,
Hey,
we don't know either. I think it's, yeah, just property boundary adjustments.
Yeah.
Anyway, we just see sort of the lay of the land and see if there.
27th is a busy day, but not an evening.
So you'll decide on my time.
So then we'll do, so should we do site visit ourselves in the afternoon and then meet like this in the evening then?
Or do we have to have the meeting right away?
Wow, it'd be nice for me personally, and probably Larry would say, we're in town, if we can do it where we can go, come get the meeting done.
Because in the past, I didn't like that, yeah.
If, Roger, is there a time if you would like to attend, is there like a cutoff point, you can, like 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock or?
Oh, I see, yeah. It's a busy day and I think it's up to about 4:30 or something, so I've got 3 different,
I think this one is pretty straightforward for us.
Yeah.
As long as we have like someone from planning and someone here, then it's not gonna probably be as contentious.
well, being able to have it that day could probably get it onto the RAC agenda for December.
That's
Just move up a week. That's what they're trying to do. Yeah, so. Otherwise.
So if we go into December more, we'll then schedule later.
But December gets hard for everyone.
Yeah, well, we won't start till late in January. because it kind of bounced that week and that.
Might be the director of the whole body.
Might have it, yeah.